Our next address will be from our class president, Lori St. Hilaire.
Good evening. On behalf of North Providence High School's class of 2009, I'd like to welcome everyone to our graduation ceremony. I'd like to extend a special welcome to the Honorable Mayor Charles Lombardi, members of the Town Council and School Committee, Mr. Goho, and members of administration. I'd also like to welcome teachers, parents, guests, and most importantly, graduates. Graduates. I couldn't seem to figure out what I wanted to say tonight, or what I needed to tell you. I looked at old photos trying to remember or generate something of value. I doodled in my notebook for 2 hours, waiting for something witty or insightful or creative to pop into my brain. I sat there looking through my notes on Socrates and Greek tragedy and the Great Depression. And then I came across a piece of loose leaf crammed in the back of my notebook. It said, "Final exam." And then everything made sense. Final exam. Think about this phrase. View it in a new and different light. A final exam. A concluding look back. It's the first time we'll ever look back on a last time. An overview of a chunk of years that, for the most part, defined us. Whether you were the prom queen or the kid who memorized the quadratic formula, this is life as we knew it. We woke up at home, but we were awakened here. This is a place that pushed us to the edge of the cliff, but taught us everything we needed to know about landing on our feet. But more importantly, to brush the dirt off if we didn't. High school took our dreams and replaced them with goals. It made us realistic, but kind of kept us hopeful. Last night, writing my speech, condensing 4 years into 5 minutes of honesty and reflection, was my most challenging final exam. So I started thinking, what are the questions on this final exam? Should I quote credible sources like Aristotle and Kennedy and Dr. Seuss? Should I say that someone somewhere said something about high school? What is high school? And I guess that's my essential question. Is it homework or is it homecoming? Is it pre-cal or is it prom? Is it home or is it hell? And I realized there's no right answer, though you can decide for yourself. High school is all of those things, which in part is what makes it so traumatic and consuming and great. See, teen angst is a beautiful thing. The same fuel that makes us bitter also makes us brilliant and better. Nothing in high school is numb. We feel everything and we're supposed to. We were always getting tested. So high school is true and false. So who administers this final exam? We do. We're testing ourselves. So instead of keeping to yourself and covering up your quiz, I think this time you should break the rule and look at the person to your left and to your right. Maybe it'll help you find the answer. Know your friends. Love your friends. But don't forget to see each situation through someone else's eyes. The world is not about your lunch table or your clique. It's not even about your GPA. It's about our willingness to take tests, our willingness to wake up and smell the coffee. This final exam is completely subjective. We made the grade and learned a lot, but there's still so much we don't know. Where we'll be in 10 years, who will know, how our hair will be cut. None of us can fast forward. But collectively, all of us will have something to rewind. We'll all have this. We'll open our yearbook every once in a while and remember the sugar and the salt of 2009. We'll remember that animated teacher who managed to make economics personal and interesting. We'll remember typing in that crazy code at the end of the lunch line and the all-nighters we spent on perfect political science papers. We'll remember the crisp October nights on the football field and the sound of a fire drill. And then we'll close the book and remember that there's life outside of high school, This test is simple and standardized. Now it's kind of funny to look back. Colossal banes of my existence seem really small in hindsight. My locker in the crowded hallway, geometry, a 10-page poli-sci paper, even my college essay. It's the small stuff like this, the stuff that seemed like the end of the world while it was happening, that ended up punctuating my high school career. See, I enjoyed the prom, and our class trip, and our senior night. But inevitably, those things become sort of irrelevant in the real world. I've learned so much more from those other things. How to persevere when you've got writer's block, double-spaced, 1-inch margins, Times New Roman, 12 font. How a cup of coffee can and will save you, and how to find X. The way I see it, I've put aside a 1-inch compartment in my brain for high school and all the things that go along with it. And I'm going to fill it with that stuff. Those little big deals. They're my cheat notes for tests to come. And we might not have taken notes for our final exam. Maybe we took pictures instead. And we might not be prepared to hand it in. So look it over once. Any good teacher would tell you that a quick review is a good idea. But then you have to pass it in. We have to pass. We have to move forward as members of society. And we have to meet the real world. But there's so much out there. Rome is out there. Jupiter is out there. Challenges and obstacles and options are out there. That's what makes this final exam multiple choice. We've spent the majority of our lives in school. We've spent it studying and learning and testing. On those tests, we were just answering questions. But the tests outside are different. Now we have to provide the questions too. We won't have a teacher or principal to rely on. No one's going to correct those tests for us. Now we're our own answer key. See, the fact of the matter is, life is full of tests. Tests of strength, tests of morality. Even high school was a test. But it's important to know that we won't have the answers all the time, and that life certainly won't hand us a study guide. We're going to have to find the answers on our own. So be prepared to be unprepared. Keep highlighting. Be bold. Pay attention to the footnotes, and show up for your final exams. Carry a pen, because eventually, we'll all fill in the blanks. Thank you.